Welcome once again to the SA Diplomat. With me this afternoon I have two gentlemen from South Africa, Mr. Graham Cunningham and Mr. Mike Lord, and they've come to visit Doha on a fact-finding mission and also to find out if there's business available. Now, we all know the background of what's happening in Doha at the moment. In just 3 years' time, FIFA kicks off in the World Cup here in the city of Doha, and currently there's not much hype around this event going forward. But certainly now, after the major event of the IAAF, we feel that that momentum will definitely be picking up. And at the same time, I'm sitting with these two gentlemen who are currently involved in events and events management, and they've come here to find out and to explore business opportunities in the region. I'm going to chat to Mr. Graham Cunningham first, and he's an events management company.
Correct. Yeah.
Hi, Graham, and welcome to the SA Diplomat.
Thank you for having us.
So, you've arrived on Sunday, it's a few days ago, and you've explored the city of Doha and its business opportunities. And what's your take on Doha at the moment?
It's been, I have to say, we've been welcomed by everybody we've seen. The embassy's been amazing to us. They've helped us on our trip. The main reason for our trip was to establish an appetite, find a potential sponsor, local sponsor, and start a business within Doha to gearing up until the World Cup and after the World Cup.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, you're looking to establish a full-time business.
Correct.
In Doha.
Correct.
So it's not only for the World Cup, but it's beyond the World Cup.
Okay, absolutely.
So when we look at the economy of Doha and the plans for Doha, Doha has a plan for Plan 2030 that's beyond the World Cup, and to take the city and the country forward into the future as one of the wealthiest countries on earth. So do you feel that there's an opportunity for you in that, and do you feel that as a South African coming to Doha that the opportunities are there for South Africans?
Absolutely. The word out there is they're hungry for our experience and what we bring to the table. They want to engage with us. They understand what's coming, and they know they need the expertise to manage it. Going forward, they've got ambitions to get a lot of the major sporting events coming out, and they know they're going to need that experience. So the whole idea here is to build a company with suppliers and infrastructure in order to facilitate what's coming, and we feel, having gone through it before, we can assist with this.
Okay, coming to you, Mike. Obviously, we're sitting in a city that's beautiful on the one end, but on the other end there's a lot of construction and a lot of infrastructure development happening. And currently now, what are the opportunities that you see in there?
So Qatar's obviously had a plan when they bid for the World Cup, and they wanted to become a global hub where it didn't matter where you were in the world, that you were going to come here. And I think they've taken a lot of learnings from South Africa, from Brazil, from Russia and Germany about what that all meant, and coming on the ground and seeing the infrastructure build that's already up, seeing what they're currently building, looking at the metro rails, looking at that project 2030, it's on track, and they're using the catalyst of 2022 to do that, and I think that's critical, and that's kind of the same thing that happened in South Africa. We post-apartheid realised that eventing and entertainment and tourism was a big critical part to the growth of South Africa, and we built convention centres, and we built a basic infrastructure to be able to do events, and based on that we did some really successful events prior to the World Cup. The World Cup just took us to another level. It really ramped us up, and the first two events we did after the World Cup was we brought the IPL to South Africa within 3 or 4 weeks, and That was critical. And you know, right around the corner we did U2, the biggest show in the world, and we did the biggest numbered seats, 104,000 people at FNB Stadium in the final. And that then participated into another run of major international events, you know, culminating with the Global Citizen event. Ed Sheeran has been to South Africa, you know, Anna Pachili, all these kind of event things, and that a lot of that catalyst came out of South Africa in 2010.
I actually remember the U2 concert quite well, especially in Cape Town. We loved it dearly. But you guys obviously speak from experience, so this isn't something that you dreamt up overnight. There's obviously history in your business, and there's legacy here. So tell us a bit about your business, and tell us where you started and how you developed into where you are now.
So Mushroom Productions, basically in 1997 was when Mushroom Productions was formed. The partners within Mushroom Productions we were young, and there was the opportunity because before 1997, really, there wasn't an industry in South Africa. You know, there wasn't the staging, there wasn't the lighting, there wasn't the fencing, there wasn't all these elements. And I was much younger then, but you know, we saw an opportunity. You know, it was glitz and glamour. You know, your eyes were nice and wide because we hadn't been exposed to this. Growing up, we didn't have the opportunity to go to the concerts and all of it. So that's why we got into it. You know, it was something very new, and there was the opportunity there because it wasn't established. So we got involved there, and thank God we've been able to follow it through for the last 20 odd years.
I think what happened with everybody wanted to come to South Africa. You know, we had Michael Jackson coming, all of these things coming. So it was critical that we had to help build that industry, and that's what we built it off. Yeah, we were involved with venue management. We had one of the biggest arenas in Johannesburg, the Dome, and we had to create industry events, and we opened that with Diana Ross and Nelson Mandela, president at the time. So, you know, those are the first kind of events that we were doing. Michael Jackson, 80,000 people in Joburg Stadium, which was built for the All Africa Games at the time. You know, that was a learning curve for us. And we realized right then we couldn't just put one of these on a year. We needed to create an industry. And a lot of that was the foundation of events, music, entertainment, what people do in their spare time, and obviously eventing, sports events have become the big entertainment. So it's not just about the football game, it's not just about the sport game itself, and we've seen that in multiple other environments, and that's what FIFA created, and you know, it allowed us, we were ready for it at the time in South Africa, and a lot of South Africans were involved.
So it's actually good to hear that there are some success stories after the World Cup. I mean, there's so much bad news that goes around, especially economically, after the World Cup, and there was a lot of blame put everywhere else. But it's actually good to see good news coming through. But you touched on a very good point, Mike, and that is that lots of people wanted to come to South Africa after '94. And here in Doha, we've been here for a while, and we've been traveling to the region for a while as our medium covers the entire region. Here there's an emphasis. When the year you are South African, automatically there's an interest because they consider South Africans as being educated, unlike the other more labor-forced nations in Doha. So in the nutshell, I mean, Doha consists of 2.7 million people, 300,000 of them are only nationals, and the rest are all expatriates. South Africans make up 6,500 of them here in Doha. So when looking at that, I don't know if you guys have experienced that in speaking to the communities and speaking to business here in Doha, that there is a tremendous amount of respect for our brand, our flag, and there's a tremendous amount of respect for our embassy.
Yeah, I mean, as I said in the beginning, it's been it really has been an eye-opener. I mean, every meeting we've been to, you know, the respect level has been tremendous. I mean, the ambassador and the embassy has helped us through this week setting up meetings. They've been unbelievable, to be honest. We we can't thank them enough.
I think it's been a very active environment, and oftentimes when you grow out of South Africa and you're outward bound, and a lot of our work is Africa based, you're always trying to unlock, you're always trying to understand the culture and so forth, and the embassies allowed us to fast track that. You know, allowed us to mingle and mix with people. We've been, you know, we've had some special privileges this week, meeting some people that we wouldn't ordinarily meet, and that's because it's active, and we've appreciated that immensely. And that's allowed us to move fairly quickly. You know, the Qatar World Cup's around the corner. We understand the urgency. The country's still gearing themselves up, and you know, we believe as South Africans we have a lot to offer.
Yeah, I think South Africa as a whole comes with a tremendous amount of experience to the table when it comes to planning a World Cup. We have come around the block.
Indeed.
And I mean, for 15 years prior to the World Cup, we had that build-up towards it, with its little hiccups in between.
Indeed.
And I think it's very noble of you guys being here at the moment to assist in that manner as well. But at the same time, we're very proud to say that we have South Africans in Doha that's flying the flag high for our nation, and at the same time assisting, lending a helping hand out to the people of Doha in assisting them to get this World Cup up and running.
Thank you very much.
This is the South African Diplomat, and we've been speaking to Mushroom Productions, Mr. Graham Cunningham and Mr. Mike Lord, and they've been here on a very fruitful, what sounds like a very fruitful trip to Doha. So we wish them well, and on the journey back this evening to South Africa, we asked them to give our regards to our people back home. At the same time, we encourage you, if this is your first time to our channel, please click that subscribe button and like our channel. This is the voice of South Africans abroad, and we represent the communities around the world who's not fortunate to have their feet on the ground back home in South Africa. Until next time, we look forward to seeing you on the channel.
Show